My mind is not here. Okay, are we ready? Town of Dayton Board of Health, regular meeting, Tuesday, December 17th. I call this meeting to order. May we have members present?
Tammy Mello.
Vincent Hebert.
Barbara Catavia. Can we stand up and pledge allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Old business. Review, discuss, act, complaints and feedback, bond and stable permits.
Anybody have Stacy's number? She said she was coming.
Do I have Stacy's number?
I don't.
I do.
Make a motion.
Yeah, we'll move on in a minute. I just want to find it. Okay, let's bypass this and we may come back to it. Can I have a motion to bypass it and go on to the next
I'll
one?
make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to take A, old business, and move it to the bottom of the list.
Second.
Can I have a vote, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Can you send her a message?
No, I've got to find your number first.
I'll go downstairs and call.
I know I've got it. It's just I'm trying to think what I have it under. Let's wait. Wait a few minutes because she has to do the minutes. Now I find it.
I think here too, maybe. So this weather doesn't fit with December, I'll just say.
Like it. It's great.
Yeah, it is awesome. It is really good.
I think it did hit 60.
Yeah, it was 60 when I get down.
And we are in this meeting.
It's like a nice spring day.
I know, I still got my boots on. You got yours? No.
No, I got
My work
yours.
boots. I texted her too. Did you get her?
Meeting was at 4:30.
Oh, is she on her way? Oh, okay, we put her at the end. Okay, 4B, review, discuss, act, Johnny's Market, town trash bag sales request.
He came in to renew his licenses and he asked if he could start selling trash bags again. They caught him selling them for, I believe it was $1 more.
Really? Seriously?
So they took away his privileges of selling bags. It was about a year ago. So he asked if he could start selling them again. I said I would present it to the board and let him know.
Do you know, Liz, do you know how many that he was selling per year or per month?
Not many. Mostly the locals in the North Dayton area.
Yeah, I get mine there, usually.
I'm sorry?
I get mine there now that I know I'm going back.
You'll get them cheaper now if we pass it.
No, he was raising the price by $1, so.
No, but I mean, then what he was adding, the dollar, he'd add anymore. You can't add it anymore.
Mhm.
That's totally not.
What happened? Did he get fined or something?
I believe they did. I'll have to go back and look. I believe they fined him.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, he's been fine. Hopefully you learned your lesson. You know,
I'd say give him a second chance.
I would, yeah, I don't care.
Have a motion,
I'll motion to
reinstate.
reinstate Johnny's Market for trash bag sales.
I second that motion.
Do you want me to have different, like collect payment when he orders the bags or anything different?
Is there a way to flag his account?
Yeah, I use the same spreadsheet for all of them, so I.
Yeah. I would just flag it and keep an eye on it for 6 months or something, maybe.
Yes, maybe we could go over it in about, I'd say 3 months.
That sounds
That's
like a plan. And maybe just let him know that in the event we get another complaint,
Right.
he's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do they make? Do they get anything for selling them or they just sell them?
I think that they get a
They get a little bit
percentage.
cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
they'll get
Big discount.
like a $5 discount per case. It's not much.
Yeah.
That's per case.
Yeah,
How many in a case, Liz?
25 rolls in each case.
Okay,
yeah, so that's nothing.
yeah, that's nothing, but,
It's just to get people in the. door.
right. well,
Yeah,
people
you
are
get people in the
reading.
door, they're gonna buy other things. You should have thought of that.
Exactly, yeah, I know. Okay, may I have a vote on this?
Aye.
Aye.
I agree, motion passes. Review, discuss town trash bag prices. They did go up. Went to the town, the selectmen agreed. I believe we will be notifying the town in the new tax bills going out. Maybe put a letter in there or,
I think it was too late to make the tax bills. It was too late.
I don't know.
So, I believe they said do it separately. And they're gonna, the next 2 meetings, they're gonna announce it, so.
they are gonna announce it.
People are gonna be aware, so it probably won't take an effect until February 2025.
Okay, let me check with Paul, because I know he said it's going out, it's already the second week, yeah, probably too late.
Was that the prices that we discussed, the $28 and
Mm-hmm,
the 20? Okay.
yeah,
Are we still doing a card? We had talked about doing a card perhaps.
yeah, we'll probably get prices on it and,
I think we said it would be cheaper. if we
Mm.
did the Card.
Yeah, because we can do a postcard and it's direct to door service, so you won't have everybody's address. It'll just be one for every resident,
Okay.
and it's cheaper with the post office.
And we're still gonna do something on the town page, maybe.
Oh,
get
of
some more
course,
information.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
we'll
Okay.
send notifications out. I believe we probably will start, we're talking about it with the selectmen probably the second week of January.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'll call VP, or I'll create a card with the, whatever information we want on it, and then present it at our next meeting,
Okay,
and then you guys can approve it, and then we'll mail it out. We have all of January, because they're gonna announce it twice, so,
Okay.
but I'll have it for the next meeting.
okay. When is the next meeting? Have we got a date yet?
January 21st.
Will that give us enough time?
Yeah. Might be close.
It might be closed. Maybe we could have a little special meeting between
Um,
now and then.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, because I mean, I'm headed to Florida on the 15th. So I don't know if we want to, if we could get together earlier than that and maybe review it or have our meeting earlier, whatever, either way.
That sounds good.
I mean, I can always zoom in, but I'd prefer to be here.
Oh, definitely,
In person.
yeah. We'd like to have you here
Yeah.
too.
Okay, the second Tuesday is the 14th, so.
That's, yeah, I'm leaving the next day, so I could do that.
Good.
You could make that?
Yeah.
Okay.
14th it is.
January 14th, next meeting.
Sweet.
Let's revert back to old business. Review, discuss, act, complaints, feedback, bond, and stable permits. Would you like to speak, Stacy?
Well, I haven't had any complaints on the stable permits, it's just the barn permits. One, the price. You figure somebody's paying $25 for 5 chickens in their backyard compared to somebody that has 20 sheep, goats, and chickens and whatever. It just doesn't equate to me. Personally, I don't see the reason for barn permits. Because most of those people there are people, don't get me wrong, that just have 10 chickens in their backyard that I still have to go and inspect. But the ones that majority that I wanna look at are people that already have cows and horses and all that kind of stuff that I'm inspecting anyways, under the stable permit. So, I don't know. I don't know what the
Well-
reason- I don't know what the reason we brought it back was, I guess.
The reason was because people don't know how to check for vermin.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but those people that you're going after aren't gonna get barn permits anyways.
Well, if
Because
they
I
have,
no-
if they have chickens,
I have no recourse if they decide not to. And $25 isn't gonna make them do that. If it was $5, maybe, but $25 isn't gonna make them come and get a barn permit when they have 6 or 10
well,
chickens.
I think that, we need to know where all the animals are. We need to know what type.
Well, you do and you don't. Because there's a fine line. My animal inspector stuff is all through Massachusetts. I don't, and I'm not saying this to be flip, I don't answer to you for animal inspector, I don't answer to the chief for animal inspector, I answer to the state. And anything that I put on that piece of paper that goes to the state is private. That goes for that, and that goes for rabies stuff that I put on that piece of paper that goes up to the state. So, yes, you can have a barn permit. I don't know of any town around here that does. Because they rely on what the state has.
So do they lump it all into one and then have a higher price?
Well, I guess your stable permits, most of our stable permits also have on their farms, goats, chickens and stuff like that. So I do have a few farms, and I probably can count on one hand that just has sheep or goats and stuff like that. There are a lot of people, backyard chicken farmers, that have 3 or 4 chickens in their backyard.
Mhm.
That I never inspected before because we didn't have to, but when avian flu became a big thing, the state requirement, even if you had 3 or 4 backyard chickens, to go out and inspect. That's the only reason I inspect them, is because the state requires me to.
So what you're saying is like with other towns, you say, okay, they don't have a stable permit, but they might have a barn permit.
No, they don't know, when we talked about doing barn permits years and years and years ago, even before the last time was put into effect, one of the selectmen polled the towns. No town has what they call a barn permit. They just figure out through their, like, if they're having a problem at such and such a place, your ACO or your animal inspector's gonna know that place, and that's what they relied on.
And then what happens?
It depends on what the problem. If it's, because they're not keeping good care of their animals and stuff like that, that all falls on the animal inspector and animal control. If it is something worth public health, not only does that fall under me, but it also falls under the Board of Health. So it depends. But anything that the state gets, what they're using it for, so they know what's in the state. And if they had a disaster around here, they know, okay, we have Bristol Aggie here, we have this here. Where are people gonna go if they need places to go? And I'm gonna tell you, most farmers know where they're gonna go and they have a plan.
So if you've got these surrounding towns, you said, and no one has permits like we have. They don't have a barn permit, they don't have a stable permit.
I don't know about stable permits, I've never checked on stable permits, because when I came on, that was a bylaw from who knows how long ago. I mean, I know we have a bylaw about piggeries that was made in 1970, so I don't know how long the stable permit's been around. And I've just continued to do the stable permit. And the reason why I don't think getting rid of the stable permit is because those stables, like your boarding stables, your people that do lessons, that kind of stuff, need to have something saying that somebody's come out to inspect. So that's, I think, the reason for stable permits. And I think that's when years and years and years ago, my husband did 1 year of animal inspector, and all we did was stables. All we did was horses. We both went out together because he has no idea about horses, so we went out together. And that was all that was required at that time, was just to do horses. It's sort of bloomed some, especially with the chickens. But as I said, most of your horse farms at least have chickens. Some of them goats.
So they're not like lumped in, like, so if you're in one of the other surrounding towns, if they had a stable permit, it's not lumped in with like chickens, goats and all that stuff. So what do they have? They have nothing.
They have nothing, they just rely on their animal inspector to know what's.
So if you go out and you inspect it and you find a violation, what's the repercussion?
Depends on the violation. I have the form, and on the form it says, why would you not pass, or is there anything else? And you put in there, I've had a couple farms I put in there. Has it been cleaned for 3 months, or 3 weeks? Not enough water, not enough shelter, and then the state comes down and goes to that farm.
And then do they have to pay a fine or something?
It depends. They go out, they talk to them, this is what needs to be done, if it's not done within X amount of time, then
Sure.
this is what happens. And
Yep.
yes,
Okay,
it goes from there.
okay. So basically what you're saying is you don't see any reason to have a barn permit.
I don't if it's just to know where the chickens are in town. I don't think so, but as I said, I go out and inspect anyways. To sign a boarding, permit for a barn is not a big thing, because I have to be out there anyways. So do I think those people that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing are gonna come and get a permit? Probably not.
Unless they get ratted out by their neighbor or something.
Which they may, because what happens is we get complaints and then we don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Because we don't have regulations in this town.
We do have regulations. Your board, not your board, but the board has put regulations into effect. There are regulations in town.
But there are a lot of regulations that are just kind of like general,
And,
not specific.
well, it depends on how specific you want to get. I don't think you want to get too specific, because then you're gonna start having problems with those people that own animals. General is making sure they have enough food and water, making sure they have what they're supposed to have for penning or whatever. Chickens, it does say in the chicken regulation that you have to keep your chickens on your property. Doesn't say you can't let them free roam in your yard, it just says they have to stay on your property. So that was stricter than, say, kind of regulation that says proper housing, proper feed, proper area for them.
How often do you go out and inspect?
I have to once a year. Now, if I have a problem somewhere, you may see me 2 or 3 times on that farm.
So do you do it by like, do you look and say, okay, there's a stable permit and I'm going to that property?
Yes and no, because I know there are some people in town that may not have a stable permit that I still inspect, because I know they have horses, or I know they have donkeys. There are people that I know that don't, when we did have the barn permit and that went away, that didn't have a barn permit, but I knew they had chickens in their backyard, only because they were selling eggs or whatever. So, I mean, I still go out Because I usually have 10 to 15 more of my inspections and you guys have either barn permits or stable permits.
Would it, so where I'm going with this is like, would it be helpful for you? So where we look at the barn permit, I mean, we're not doing it to make money.
No, we're
It's
not.
it's not for that. It's like what Barbara said, is like, the concern was about like vermin and rodents and things like that. But also if that helps you, that we say, okay, there's because not everybody who's gonna have a barn permit is gonna have horses, is gonna need a stable, right? So if they have a barn permit and then that goes onto your list and you're like, okay, well, this is on my list and I know that I have to go there, once a year. I mean, is that beneficial for you or is it something you just know?
Right now, I just know, there probably are people out there that don't have, that I don't know of, but I'm gonna be very honest with you. They're not gonna come in and get a barn permit, because people don't feel I have the right to have chickens in my backyard. Whether it's 5 or 25, because there's no limit. And they don't feel, so they're not gonna come go, well, yes, I'm gonna get a barn permit for X amount of dollars.
Do you ever tell them? Do you ever say, oh,
Well, we haven't, last couple of years, we haven't had a barn permit.
Yeah.
When we first started, every person I went to, I put it on the thing, put it on, when I attach my little piece of paper, I put it there.
and I'm sure we don't
Some
have,
come in, some don't, and from there, I don't have anything to do after that.
we don't have a way to enforce it anyways.
Right,
So it's in $25, we're not gonna send anybody out.
We do something different just for chickens. I lived in Rhode Island. We had to have permits for chickens and it cost us $5.
I'm
At
glad
least it's something, and I understand, I get what Stacy's saying, but at least it's something.
So it's less of a concern for like goats, sheep, things like that. You don't care.
Well,
really.
I'm just worried about the care these animals are taking, and if you don't have some kind of inspection, they know somebody's coming to keep tail on them. It seems like everybody wants a little goat or something.
Yeah.
And the chickens, I mean, Liz, how many phone calls do you think we got on chickens within the last 8 months?
At least 10,
Rats. Okay, now let's go with the rats.
at least 10.
At least 10. I think it's a lot more than that because I know I spent my Saturdays and Sundays out in North Dayton talking to people. We went and inspected a couple of different places. Lady asked me, can you show me how I can tell I have rats,
I remember you
She
saying that.
had
the last one of the
pigs.
meetings.
chickens, ducks? What else did she have? That was it. And I had to go around and say, here. Oh, and there's some in your house and there's some under your front walk. And it's not funny when you have one house causing all the problem and there are 10 houses around calling and saying, we have a problem. Or when I drive by, they go, oh, it's that house over there. They have animals? I didn't know they had animals. Oh, yeah, they have animals. Oh, yeah. You can't see them. You can't hear them.
But would it matter whether they had a barn permit or not at that point?
Well, let's put it this way, if they don't have one and we find out that they're the house that has the problem, then we know enough to go check them all the time.
That's where I was going.
And also to educate them, because this lady didn't know, but yet the house right behind her, those people caught a water rat in their cellar. And I couldn't believe it was a water rat, but it was. And
How much of a pain would it be if we had the stable permit, kept the barn permit for like the goats and sheep and stuff like that? But then, when you're talking about somebody, a family has 3 chickens, could we do something separate just for chickens if they don't have? the
3
sheep
chickens
or
still
whatnot?
cause rats.
No, I'm saying if we had a special reduced price, if you just had chickens, like $5.
Yeah, do it 3 tiers. You do stable
Yeah,
permit,
3
We could
tiers.
do
barn permit,
that. We could do that.
and do, and chickens, make it $5.
$5.
Well, now that the Ag Commission has been reinstated, hopefully they can give us some input.
Why don't we do a coop permit?
Even better idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Barn, coop, it's all where they live.
There you go.
yeah.
you want?
I mean, it's gonna create a little bit of work for
I just
Stacy
have
and
to
for you.
refer some of the people that already applied and send out
Well,
letters.
why don't we do this? Why don't we do some research on it? And if we're going to meet the 14th,
Talk
that's
about
only
it
it.
then. Yeah.
And then we could get some ideas, maybe then.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that that was,
Because I know there's a need for it. I'm sorry. I just know there is a need.
Since we sent out those letters, which was weeks ago, I've only gotten, I want to say 5 people come in and actually pull a permit. Out of the list of maybe 40 I sent.
do you think if it was $5 that people would come in and do it?
Maybe. I don't know, maybe, because before it was $5.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of women in harm about it, I only have chickens.
Well, and certainly if we see eggs for sale, we know they're getting them from somewhere. So they should have, where did I read somewhere that they actually require a permit?
No, not someone by the side of the road. They don't have
There was
to be
some-
inspected, there's no, because eggs can sit unwashed for 2 weeks, they don't need to be refrigerated, so they're not, if, like, when you go into the store and you have to inspect eggs and do all that kind of stuff, you don't have to do that with a roadside person, because they don't have to wash their eggs, and they can sit for weeks without being
Mhm.
rancid, so they don't need a permit to do that. The state does not require for them to have a permit to do that.
But if we see them on the street for sale, then we know they have chickens.
Yes, and those people I already know have chickens. But here's the thing. You're going to set this out. And there will be people that even paid the $25, which I told them to wait to do that, just in case something changed, but was willing to do that because they wanted to follow the rules. But I can't make them do it.
There's,
That's the thing I guess I'm trying to get across. I can't make them come in and get a permit.
there's no repercussion.
There's no repercussions for it at this point. So in other words, I can walk on a thing and go, listen, you need to have a barn permit or a coop permit or whatever we're gonna call it. They look at me and go, yep, we'll do that. And it never gets done.
Sure.
Well, thank you for that, because we'll take that into consideration too.
So we should, I think we table this whole thing because I like the idea of the 3 levels. I like the coop idea
Mhm.
that Liz said. You have the 3 tiers, but again, there's no enforcement for somebody to do it. So how do you handle that?
We get enforcement.
Do we have Stacy go and say, hey, you don't have a permit, you have to have it. And if you don't get it within 30 days, there's some other repercussion. I mean, we charge them $10. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
But if there's, it's like, if you don't have it, and then if there's rats, if there's vermin and things like that, and then there could be this kind of a fine, you're almost leaving it up to you, to send that message. It's like, hey, you don't have one. You really should get one. It's only going to protect you because if this happens.
that's
know.
all we're doing is because we're the health department and we're trying to protect
Exactly
people.
right. But,
I mean-
but we don't have we just don't have an enforcement
Is
method.
it something that the Board of Health can set something like a?
Well, that's what we're doing. That's why we're
Fine,
trying to
or-
get, that's why we do have bond permits, so we can find out where these things are.
So
So we
Right, but what
can
I'm
watch
saying
them.
is, if they don't do something, I understand that Stacy can't do anything because there's no,
Yes,
violation that can be given or anything like that, but is it something that we as a board?
I believe
And-
so, but that's why I'm saying,
need
let's
to research
research
that.
it.
I would be curious to see, what does Rehoboth do? Rehoboth's way bigger than we are.
And they're more spread out too. They're
Exactly.
not North Dayton where
Exactly right.
there are more than a few chickens and animals.
Right.
It's quite a
And there's a full-fledged farm right up there too.
Might be worthwhile is like contact them and find out what do you do or then, maybe a couple of the other rural towns that are around here. And see how they enforce it or if they even do. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, the Board of Health is responsible for the health of our residents. And it's not fun when somebody calls you up and says, I'm sitting at my window and I'm watching the rats come through my fence and going into my tool shed. What do I do? I'm afraid to go out there. There's so many.
Mhm.
And I'm not kidding. That's the phone call I got.
Mhm.
And boy, I've got pictures on
It's
that
a
one.
nuisance for people.
It's not only a nuisance,
Health concern.
it's a really bad health concern. And let's face it, this time of year, probably everybody's gonna have a mouse or something come in. But when you're talking rats and plenty of them,
Well, because as we said, when there's one, there's more than one.
oh, definitely, you know that, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's more than one.
Us farmers know
Especially when you
that.
start seeing holes in the ground, you know that.
Oh,
we
yeah,
have a big problem.
it was amazing.
It's a serious problem.
It was amazing.
So again, I think, if we table it, do more research.
Yep.
And then think of, some repercussion, if they don't do it. But try to, to me, it's always been, you gotta just be transparent and say, these are the reasons why. It's, the concern is for rodents, for rats, for, vermin, for, disease and things like that. That's the reason. We're not just doing this because, again, we're not doing this to make money. It's just for the town, right? Health concerns of the town. So, and then we can find out what the other towns do. And then go from there. Maybe the answer is there is no way to enforce it. And it's not practical, it's not, economical. You're not gonna send a policeman out there to say, hey, where's your,
No, we don't want to send it. No, we don't want to send.
what, $90 an hour? Here you go.
No, they're too busy doing other things. I can't say more important things, but they're
Yeah.
busy.
What does the building department do if you're gonna put up something and someone finds, and then you don't have a permit for it? I mean, what do they do?
Right.
That might be worth asking
Right,
Tony that
right.
and saying, hey, what do you guys do?
Mhm.
So we could go from there. It's a really good point, really valid point that you brought up.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry if we're trying to make more work.
I wasn't
It's not the more work, it's not the more work.
I wasn't cross-examining you. I just was trying to get the information.
It's not the more work, it's you look at people and they go, yup, uh-huh.
They're not
And
gonna,
then they laugh at me as I walk off the property because they know that there's not much I can do about that.
Okay, we understand, Stace, thank you.
yeah, you don't have anything. And again, I wasn't cross-examining you. I was just trying to get to, down into the weeds and find out what the heck is going on.
Weeds.
Going on.
What kind of weeds here?
It's legal. It's legal.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion on this?
Sure, I'll make a motion to table that discussion and let's do some research and bring it back up when we meet on the 14th. Maybe we'll have some better answers.
I second that. Yeah.
May I have a vote?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you, Stacy.
Do you have anything else you want to ask us about, Stacy, while you're here? We appreciate you coming in. Sorry you got,
I always thought it was 4:30, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
no.
It's all right.
We're early today.
We changed it on you by
Oh, yeah.
accident.
Yeah, we're a very versatile board here. We're sorry.
The times seem to change a little bit.
No, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, very much.
Okay, let's go on to 5B, health agent status. Right now, it's kind of in limbo. We requested $50 an hour for per diem health agent, a very capable and experienced. We requested it from the selectmen. They voted on 45 an hour, which this person we were looking to hire is thinking about at this time.
I thought he said no. Thought he rejected it.
I've got word today that he's still thinking about it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He was firmly against it, but he's still thinking about it, but he is taking a loss coming in at 45. And so I'm thinking, because he is so experienced, maybe we could change the rate to like a lower amount and up to $50 an hour, a very experienced person.
So you mean change the job description?
Yes, yes, because that goes in with the job description, because he is per diem. And I know there was some talk about, well, he's an inspector and we're paying him a lot more than other inspectors in town. I've got this whole big, long list of public health from A to Z. And it's, I would say, 15, 3, 6, right? Close to 100 different responsibilities that this agent, he's not an inspector, he's an agent in control of hazardous waste, perk tests, pesticides, physical activity, all kinds of diseases, tuberculosis, septic system, school health, shop syringe, sanitation, recreational waters, recycling, managed care, Lyme disease, massage, if we're going to have one there for a while, infectious diseases, healthy housing, healthy communities, healthy aging, food, health tracking. During COVID, we had a lot of work there. It was only 2 people that worked 7 months with 1 day off, Christmas, in case people don't know about that. So I feel that he is well worth the $50. He's going to be working less than 20 hours a week. So he's going to be very busy. He isn't going to be sitting around the office trying to figure what to do. We've got a lot of work for him. And we'll be saving. Right now, it's $200 a plan to have them gone over. They are checked over by an engineer, certified engineer, who is very good. And he's charging $200. That's the rate for that per plan. This gentleman, it's $50 an hour. And he could probably do a plan in less time because it's right here. He doesn't have to come up, pick it up, bring it home, look it over, bring it back. So I think we're saving the town money. I also think we're saving the town money because there are no benefits provided with per diem. That's thousands and thousands of dollars we're saving the town.
that.
We're saving a huge amount. And this gentleman right here, I mean, all the applicants we've had, there wasn't, well, I think there was one, and it was just minimal experience with septics. And that's really, really important. That's about 60% of this job. I really feel that he'd be nothing but a benefit to this town. And by us holding back $5 an hour,
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree too.
So if it's 50, he wanted 50, that was his line?
that was it. And that is less than what he's making now as an agent for a town, local town.
So can we resubmit to the board of selectmen and say, look, it's $5. This guy is very well qualified. This is going to be your savings. You reconsider. I mean, what were the reasons for saying 45? Budget?
They wanted to meet halfway between Mark and Nicole were talking, and they were trying to meet halfway. That's what Mark offered. He was trying to get close to the $50. He agreed, I believe he agreed with the $50 originally, and I believe he still does. But they decided they didn't want to go with $50. I don't know if they were mistakenly thinking that this position was an inspector's job, because it's not just an inspector's job. There were, helps with the budget, helps with grants. There are a lot of things.
How about if we put something together with all of those details that you're just saying?
Mhm.
All those jobs that he's responsible for.
This whole list.
In
Yeah,
a way, yes. And then we could also make mention of the fact of we're paying somebody $200 to review plans, and we can pay. We did mention that? Okay,
We
well, maybe
mentioned
we
it,
need
but
more
they said-
details.
Did we
Their comeback was, well,
The homeowner pays for it.
the permit pays for that, the person that's applying. Yes, they do, but it goes to the town, whatever the permit is, whatever they're doing. And the $200, if it's a repair or if it's a new design, they're still 200. Are they still 200? I think that's a little cheap.
Okay, so
But
wait a
he's
minute here.
charged
If the
200.
homeowner pays for that and they don't have to take the 200.
That's right.
Now the homeowner's
That's
paying the
right.
extra $5.
Well, it's more than $5.
Well, I'm just saying.
$50 for him to look at the plan, and it's.
But he would be looking at plans though. when
Oh,
he
yes,
came.
he's looking at
Okay,
plans.
so here's the thing. The $200 that we were paying that one person to look at
Yep.
plans, we won't need that person.
That's right.
So if we have Brian, now we won't have to worry about the $5 because it's going to be covered by the $200
Oh,
that we were paying the
that's
person
right.
to look at
so
plans.
you're
That's
saving,
right.
you're saving $150.
And that $150 goes to where, Liz? General fund, which is
So the
not
town
us.
is
it's
gonna
the
be
town.
making money.
They're making money by
So we
hiring
need to
him.
put that down on paper.
Then the other piece that I would suggest would be, what do health inspectors in surrounding towns make? And I'll bet it's more than $50.
Oh,
Definitely more
boy.
than $50.
Oh, boy.
And if you have somebody with this person's level of experience, willing to do it on a per diem basis, which
Yes.
not everyone would do, and you're saving $150 every time because you don't have to have an engineer inspect it. And surrounding towns are paying them 75, I bet $150 an hour.
Oh, definitely. The
Right.
engineers, that's what
Like
engineers
Barbara
get.
said, we're not paying him for benefits.
And no
So we're
benefit.
Saving there.
Thousands.
For $5 more an hour, you don't want to do this?
It's not going to cost the town. The town's going to be making money
Right.
by
That's,
hiring Brian.
that's my point.
And
$5 an hour to me, when I heard that, what was my comment, Liz? It was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
that was
So I
ridiculous.
think we need to go back to the board with a letter stating exactly what we just discussed. It's a no-brainer.
Push back and say,
Yes.
Absolutely.
where is
We know what
it?
we
Show me the
need.
downside.
We know what we need. This board has been without an agent for 8 months. 8 months.
Mhm. Which means he's gonna have a lot of catching up to do. He's gonna have a lot of work.
Yeah, he does. Right now, we have a number of perks because the gentleman that usually does our perks, I'm not sure, I think he's done, Liz? Or he's very limited on his time, very limited on his time. So now, the low rate he was giving us, that's gone, plus him gone. And I mean, who are we gonna get now to do our perks? We have a number of them waiting now and nobody to do them.
So this is all gonna affect the residents, essentially.
Mhm.
It's affecting a lot. We have no health agent. If some catastrophe comes, we have no health agent. I filled in quite a bit. I can't keep doing it because of laws, basically.
All right, so can you write the letter to the selectmen and state?
And
Sure.
here's the other piece.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're delaying perk tests, that's going to be delaying building, that's going to be delaying additional taxes coming into the town.
It's gonna have a snowball effect.
You know,
essentially.
and all the other reasons that we're saying here.
It's not fair to the
Yeah.
people of this town.
Right. If you're delaying something for 6 months where a house could have been put up in that 6 months, you're losing tax revenue,
Yep.
True, valid point.
right?
And not only that, I mean, today, the police force has called me on a few things that I've had to go out. As in, what can I say? Because there was nobody else around to go.
Mhm.
They deemed me, even though it's against ethics. I went, and I'll say it right here. There was nobody else around. Nobody else from the health department could go. If they called right today, who's going? Who's going if somebody has a stroke and they've been laying on a floor for 12 hours? And they said, well, you better come in and look at this place and deem if it's livable at that point.
Mhm.
There are a number of things in the fire right now which are on hold in this town because we don't have a health agent.
So we
It's
need,
been 8 months
we need
and
to get moving.
we've been trying to get somebody. It's not like we haven't.
No,
You
that's-
know, how many
that's-
interviews have we
Yeah,
done?
Absolutely.
Do they want us to hire somebody that we
Doesn't-
have to teach how to do what to do?
Yeah.
And then
They need to have
they
experience.
have the knowledge and they go on to another town.
No, you said, what you said about this person, that he can come in, and do the job like right away. I mean, that's easy. I mean,
Oh, he was planning to come in as of yesterday. I mean,
so,
if that had been passed, he would have been here yesterday, already boots on the ground, doing his job.
so we need to push back and lay out all those reasons and
Mhm.
go
Well,
from there.
you know, the comment I can't remember when, by one of the selectmen was, this board is the best board of health the town of Dayton has ever had. And the reason is because we're using our brains. And we're not trying to steal money from the town. We're trying to save money for the town, plus take care of their health, their benefits, and the future. We're trying. And I think we've decided that this is the best way to go.
I think so.
Yeah, I say go forward with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody like to make a
I mean,
motion?
We just brought up a bunch of valid points, a
Definitely.
bunch of selling points
Yes.
that must be used. So I'll make a motion to go forward with submitting a letter with all the valid points that we just made. And like Vinnie said, push back, and we need this guy.
I'd second that motion.
Can I have a vote?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll work on it. Trying to think what the right procedure would be, because I think maybe all three of us should sign it in solidarity.
that sounds like a good plan.
Mhm.
If you want to put something together,
Okay.
and then we can sign it.
Liz,
Steve, if you
would you
could-
be agreeable to sign it with us as a member of the health department? You don't think you can, but you're a member of the health
Well,
department.
what I'd say, like, whatever you draft, Barbara, send it to us. Let's review it, give you back our input. Anything that we can get from Liz that we might need,
Okay,
research wise, or anything else that we can find out.
yep,
We should have eyes on it too. I think we should have Liz's eyes on it as well.
yes, definitely,
And,
definitely. This is a big part of the health department.
yep, absolutely. And then we all agree, then.
And then send it over.
then send it.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. I really
Okay.
do.
Yep. Yeah, just email it. And my personal email is the best to use. I don't know what that blue mail sometimes.
The
It's
blue bill.
Oh, don't go there.
I don't get messages for days. I don't see it. And I'm like,
I emailed Liz, I was trying to forward something to myself and it wouldn't let me do it.
it's horrible.
What did they pay for that?
Probably free.
Oh, God.
Terrible.
Okay, on to the next thing we have here. Bay State Public Health. Oh, I'm sorry, no, nurses. Public health nurse status. Basically, the same thing happened with our request for the new job description, changing the hours and the rate of payment.
Remind me again what we changed it to, because I've forgotten.
So,
The nurse wanted 45 an hour and the selectmen approved 38.
what was it, 30?
38.
And this is like a 4-hour week job, Liz, right?
Yeah,
At most.
2 to 4, which is, she'll be doing a lot in the 4 hours
So
and
she wanted 45.
45.
They offered 38.
I
So
mean,
$32.
She's a registered nurse. My daughter's a registered nurse. She doesn't make $38 an hour and she just started out. She's a new graduate.
What does she make?
So I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but I know it's not $38. She makes more than $38.
More than 30.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, so,
thing- and-
I
and the
mean,
thing
it's
is-
not unreasonable for a registered nurse with her
Right.
experience. I mean, she has a lot of experience.
Yeah, if you,
So,
if you think about, if you think about this, think about the job. She's gonna work she works 4 hours a week. You offer 45, they say 38. Right? So 38, so $7.
$7.
$28. So for $28 a week, you're gonna make a counteroffer of that? That's not.
And the thing
and we're
is,
not paying her benefits.
no
right?
benefits there.
Same,
Again, it's the
No
same
benefits.
scenario as our health agent.
Exactly, and it's the same scenario where she's working in Taunton. She knows a lot of the procedures the state requires.
She's been around.
She's been
a nurse for a
around,
long
yes,
time.
and she
She's
has
got the
so much to
experience.
offer, so much
We
to
don't want
offer.
to lose her.
it's the same argument. It's like, I mean, you're pinching pennies and losing dollars here.
And,
I mean,
one
it
of the
doesn't make any
things,
sense.
one of the things they brought up was, I don't know where they found the numbers, they didn't say that there was a much lower rate to towns in Massachusetts. Well, I spent yesterday about 2 hours calling around and they were up there.
Of course.
They were up there.
Of course.
They're not $25, $26, $27 an hour jobs as an RN, an experienced RN.
$336 a year. Savings.
I mean, we need a nurse.
Oh, boy, do we.
Absolutely
There's
need a
another
nurse. So
8-month
We're not
thing.
gonna, let's not cry over a few bucks.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, like I said, $336 a year, $28 a month. That you're, I'm sorry, $28 a week. That's what you're hemming about? Between 45 to 38 for 4 hours work, the same argument all applies.
And the irony of it is, do you know what the irony of it is? We have the money in our budget.
Then what's the problem?
So why aren't we allowed to spend it on somebody that, 2 people, very experienced, that we can afford?
But they're quick to take money from us, like the last.
The
meeting we
20,000
had.
they took,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
Last year, it was 17%.
So that, maybe
Our
that
budget,
needs to be.
They decreased our
refreshed in
budget
our minds.
17% last year. And now they're still hemming and hawing a dollar here and a dollar there. For qualified people that this town deserves.
So going back to the health agent thing here, sorry, I'm just chuckling, but with the money that they're gonna be saving with paying that other person $200, it's also gonna pay for the nurse. So if it's gonna go back to the general fund, it's gonna pay for the nurse. So here we go.
And I can't understand, from a business aspect of it, you cut here, and it all adds up, at the end. But to me, this is like penny wise, pound foolish. This is not making any
Absolutely,
sense.
especially when you have qualified individuals
Right.
applying for these positions. And we know we've been here for months trying to get qualified people. We
Yes.
finally have them and
This is what happens.
we get complaints about pinching pennies here.
What if you get some person who has rats on their property or rodents, and that gets into the neighbor's property, and then they find out that there's not a permit, it wasn't inspected, nothing happened to them. That's a lawsuit.
That
waiting to
is a
happen.
lawsuit, and
Absolutely. I agree.
as I've said, and Liz will testify, weekends, I was patrolling North Dayton, and they said, well, go talk to that house, I think they have rats. No, talk to that one, I think they have rats. And I'm like, oh, zoosh. And people, I just had to educate them. And I felt bad. I was like, what do I do next? I talked, they were pointing towards a couple of the large companies out there, the buildings, and I went over and they were good. And I said, well, can you cut the brush over there? That could be, hiding some and everything. Yep, next day it was all trimmed, all cut, nice and neat. They want to help too.
Yeah, if they're not aware,
Yeah.
so.
It was an experience, believe me, it was an experience.
So I think the same thing, it's like, push back for the nurse, come up with the numbers,
Mhm.
you know, like if, Tammy, like, if like, this is what they're making out of school. Somebody's just doing that, it's 4 hours a week. We save on the benefits, we save, et cetera, et cetera. et cetera. All of it.
Exactly.
And places are
exactly.
paying big money right now because there's such a shortage of nurses.
Yes,
So they're paying, I think my daughter got a $13,000 sign-on bonus
Yeah,
really.
as well.
Wow, good for
10 or
her.
13,000
Sure.
Good
because
for her.
there's not enough
No.
nurses since COVID. There's not enough nurses.
my daughter's a pharmacist, and when she graduated, it was the same thing, it was like, she was like a baseball player, that came out of, that they wanted,
Right.
the sign on bonus.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody's sort of fighting for you because they need nurses so bad.
Yes, yes, and we should be lucky,
We should be lucky
to have one
But
that's
we
so
need
qualified.
we need to raise the bar a little bit here with paying
Agreed.
Okay,
qualified people.
Yep.
do we have a motion on that? I can't even think, we've been talking
No,
so
not
much
yet.
here. Okay, let's have a motion.
I'll make that motion
Good.
for the public health nurse to get her the money she deserves. How's that?
Sure, I second that motion.
May I have a vote? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and motion passes. All right, next thing, good news. Bay State Public Health Training Hub. Gentleman came, called up, we had a nice chat. And, hold on one second, pages.
Oh, there's so many this week, Liz. Lots of papers this week.
Oh, that's the packet. His name is Joshua Montella. They are based in New Bedford. Basically, what they're doing is they are provided by the state, and it's a training hub. There are a lot of Zoom meetings we can look at, and webinars. They've got a whole listing in the back. They come and, let me say, they actually work along our inspectors and our agents. And in the office, they can help us with shortcuts pertaining to public health.
Okay.
The same with the inspectors, they'll go out, they'll work right alongside them. If there are any shortcuts or better methods they know about, they can work with our members and help us.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, it's provided free of cost to the
Win-win.
town. Win-win situation.
Again, win-win.
And I mean, as far, it could go from office work all the way to work with inspections on houses, plotting,
Mhm.
everything that the Board of Health is responsible for. They come in and help us out.
I think that's a plus.
Oh, I think it is. They're trying to get all the health departments up to par on the same level, not missing anything.
Mhm. No missing pieces.
Exactly. And I just wanted to let you guys know, and if you wanted to take any of the courses, they have a lot of them
Are they online? Are they in person?
online.
Okay.
And they're all free,
Online.
right?
Yeah, yeah. And if you guys have any questions or anything, they'd be glad to come down. If you say, well, let's do it this way, or can we do it this way? Let's call them. Let's see what they've got to say.
That's nice.
And they come right in. There are 3 people in charge. Joshua is one of them. And very nice man. I believe he was the health agent of Swansea.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And, but they're all professional. They know what they're doing. I was very, very impressed.
I like that idea.
Yes, yes. So I just put that in.
That's worth checking out.
Yeah. I'd like to
Yes.
take some of those classes.
Oh, I know. Yeah, especially with snow coming in,
Yeah.
right?
Something to do.
There is one thing I wanted to go over. The Ag Commission is in process of starting up again.
Which commission?
Agricultural Committee. So they do, the procedure is if we have problems with animals, their first level, they go, if somebody has a problem with the animal problem, they go to the Ag Committee and say, hey, what's this, what's that, what can we do? And they can come back to the Board of Health and say, well, this is part of the Board of Health. We need your advice also. So we work with them. I think you'd be a good fit.
Sure.
Because of the animals, not anything against you.
It's all right. I don't know anything about animals. I just eat them.
But I would really like to nominate you.
Sure, I'd be on.
Well, I'll have, but with the Ag Commission,
Sure.
Ag Committee, I'm on now, but I'll just bow out and put you in as a representative of the Board of Health. We'll have to write another letter recommending you as our liaison.
Okay, sure, thank you.
Can you make a motion?
I'll make a motion for Tammy to be on the Agricultural Commission.
And we'll write a letter to them. Oh, I'm sorry.
And write a letter to them.
Could I have a second?
Can I second that, seeing it's?
I don't know, can she second herself? Okay,
I don't
I'll
think
step
so.
down, I'll step down in second. I'll step down in second. I was forgetting my place there, I'm sorry. Can I have a vote?
Right?
Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
We have so much fun at these meetings, don't we? Gosh, okay. Oh, and by the way, they do have a testing, the Bay State Public Health Training Hub. They do have a form that when they go out and they work with, you say your health agent. And they have a form that they ABC or whatever they do. And it's not a real test. It's just they want to see where you are. And the person that we are hoping will come and be our per diem agent is already half through that training.
Oh, nice.
So he's already well on his way.
Mhm.
Number 6, items not reasonably anticipated within 48 hours. Does anybody have anything?
Well, the only thing I have is like, I've got the training with Missy
Yes.
tomorrow
Yep,
at 11. It's like overview of the grants and things like that.
Mhm.
Like she calls it the newbie,
yep.
the newbie training that we had the meeting with her Monday, that we went over. The meeting that she had before that and then the document. So I did go and I went into it and that's where I stopped. And I think I asked Liz about, can we do this? So as I went in and I was gonna apply for the grant, it said, do you use recyclable materials for like your office and things like that? I didn't know that, so that's why I stopped. That's what Missy was going over yesterday.
Yes, do you want to lead on that?
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that for sure.
Do we have to vote on that? No, okay, if you would take the lead on that.
Yeah, and I'll do that. And then like what she was talking about was, I don't think it's a lot of money. It's probably $1,000 is what I saw. But it's something.
Something,
It's
sure.
something. And then the other was the email that I sent around about, like I said, I get pinged from the grants. You know, I'm certainly more than willing to apply for the grants. There was none that I saw that would, apply, for us. Still, if you do meet with the town administrator, I already had gone and met with him and asked him to set up that, like the folders, and have people access them. I'm sure he hasn't gotten to that yet. He hasn't said anything. But, if we could ping him again and tell him that. And then the last thing is just what I got from the government was, that new search engine that they have. So you could just type in something. So if there's something that you think of that I haven't thought of, like if it's barn permit, so whatever it may happen to be, there may be something in there. Some of it is convoluted. When you go into the site and you look at it, you really kind of got to drill down, which is where I'm hooked. I think that search engine is going to help a lot.
Mhm.
Because if you could put it in as more of a generality rather than specifics, because I weeded through, must have been 100 or more, and they just don't apply, or they're like specific for this or that, and they just didn't work for us. And the state level, I didn't see anything yet. But they always come up, so we keep checking and checking. So that was just something I want to bring up. If you ever want to, if you see something and you say, hey, I saw this, and I would go and investigate it.
There is one, and I'm gonna get you the information after, I'll give it to Liz, and she can give it to you when I get out of here, when we get out of here. And it's headed by Ron O'Connor. He's a Dayton man. And they are, what's the word for it? I can't even think, but they're starting a whole new guidebook for the Board of Health, Massachusetts Board of Health.
Mhm.
With that, they are giving grants out to get electronic permitting.
Oh, nice.
It's still, it's been, the funds have been voted, but it's still in process. It's coming along, but I'll give you the information on that, Vinnie, so you can start
Yep.
working with him.
And Barbara, the other one that you gave me, the Mass Public Health Alliance. So there was a person that was there that you have to contact in order to
Yeah.
get what you need to do. I haven't heard back from that person yet, so
Okay,
I'll hit her again, but
yeah, hit him again. If not, just give me a call and I'll,
yeah. But it was the one that
See
you
what I
had
can do.
specifically brought up. What was it? Let me see, I made a note. Mass Public Health Alliance, was that the one?
yeah,
But again, I didn't hear anything back from that person yet. But from what I understand is like, she's the one you contact. She gives you the guidelines and tells you this is what these are the forms you need to fill out, and then off you go.
okay.
So, but I'll send it to her again.
Missy's, that can, if we check all the boxes that they're looking for,
Yep,
it's well over $1,000.
she had mentioned a number of 17, I think. 17 or $18,000, and it's a point tier system, which I saw
Right,
that too. You
right,
get like a point if you do this, you get 2 points if it's
Yep.
this, you get 1 point if you have, what do they call it, a swap shed or something like that. So you get all of these points until you get to like 9. And then once you go from 9, you go to 10, and when you're in the 10, when you're over the 9 level, that's when you can then you can get more money, more money.
exactly.
Except it's convoluted to me, I think it's
Right
foolish,
now,
but
no, right now it's 14,000 we have
yeah,
from those points
that's
the
good.
last year.
So,
So, and then the swap shed, there's, I think, a $6,000 grant for that
mhm.
coming in, that, I don't know, it's being held up a little bit. So
Who's
we-
doing that?
That's the state, that's,
Oh,
well, DEP.
Okay.
State, but, yeah, we check those. Liz, do you have the, last year's that we gave to them? You filled it in, I know, I've seen it, and I think you gave it to me. Cause there was the,
Was reported to the state?
to DEP, to Missy.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Okay, honey, thank you. And if you could give that to Vinnie, so he could see how we rated last year and what we did. I know we missed out on $1,000 because we didn't get something in time.
Yeah.
So we missed out on 1,000 in that.
She was good yesterday because she was giving like the deadlines, which is good. So I can do
February
that
22nd.
that all ahead of time.
She's amazing.
She's very, very good.
Oh, my goodness. That's why we invite her to all our solid waste committee meetings. But she'd come down and talk with you
Mhm.
personally.
Yeah,
She's
she had told me, I had reached out to her individually, and she's like, we can meet in person, we can meet
Yep.
in Zoom. So we've already done a couple of Zooms already. And yeah,
phenomenal.
she's very, very knowledgeable.
phenomenal at her job. She really is very good. Okay, oh, we've been here a little more than an hour. Okay, public input, I Don't think we have any public input. Approved minutes. Oh, the minutes are underneath here, guys, in the packet. Did you have a chance to look at them? Not really, or have you?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. These are the things we already talked about. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 19th, November 27th, and December 4th.
I'll second that.
may I have a vote, please?
Aye.
Aye, and the minutes are approved. Motion's passed and minutes are approved. Sorry, it's a good thing we can laugh about it because we cry about it. Okay, and we've already scheduled our next meeting. So that's great, January 14th.
Earlier the better for me, because
Okay.
I'm gonna be packing up and my
Getting
wife will
ready.
certainly be
Yeah.
in a tizzy at
Sure.
that point in time.
You want to do morning?
Morning's fine. I don't care, as long as it's like not, later in the afternoon or early
You want
evening.
to say like 10 a.m.?
That
10 a.m.
sounds
good for
good.
people?
That's real good. That would work.
If Liz, if you could book it for 10. Here, if not here, then maybe we could go to Prime, or even the police department has a community room also we can use.
Sure.
It just doesn't have Zoom in it. That's not always a bad thing. Okay, at this time, do I have a motion for adjournment?
I motion.
Second,
Can I have a vote?
Aye.
aye.
Aye, motion passes. Great holiday, everybody.
You too.